Welcome to a brand new podcast. Hi, I'm Bob Kevoian, and you may notice I have a new partner. I've had a lot of great partners in my life. One, my wife Becky.
Aww.
Two, of course, Tom Griswold. And now I've taken on a new partner who I did not choose. This partner snuck up on me. It's shocking is what it is, and I have to get rid of the guy. I don't care for him as my partner. I don't want him as my partner. So we'll do everything I can to eradicate my partner. My partner, his name is Cancer.
Boo.
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 Boo. Boo, Cancer.
Boo.
Yes, I've been in a shock to me, my wife, and our family members. I was diagnosed with a stomach cancer just a few weeks ago. We're already getting things underway, and I just figured it might be a wise idea to share the journey with you because I have no idea what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be interesting for those who possibly are diagnosed with cancer, who are afraid and don't know what to expect. This is what we're going to try to share.
Yeah.
So joining me on the podcast, my lovely wife,
Hi.
Becky, and my best buddy, Whit Grayson.
Hey, Bob.
And Whit is he's somewhat of a cancer aficionado, sadly.
Sadly.
Because you had to go through a lot with your late wife.
My wife, Deb, right after we got together, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and was early, treated with radiation, chemo, and a lumpectomy.
Right.
Which I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
And she did very well and lived for 10 years cancer-free.
Very nice.
And she was the 3 out of 100, sadly, that it recurred.
Mm-hmm. That's too bad.
When it recurs, it's not good.
No.
But we had almost 7 more years after that.
After that.
Great doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the doctors you and I share who
Right.
helped diagnose early and give us a long run.
Well, I hope I have the same thing. A good long run.
I'll take 17 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, if I can live 17 more years, you're not going to like me.
But anyway, so I'm familiar with some of what you're going through. Deb passed away in 17, and we saw all the hospital rooms, all the treatment rooms, good and bad, because there are great people that help you.
Yes, we have found that out. We've had a number of wonderful and smiley people helping us through this crazy journey. We discovered this on my annual physical. My doctor sent me to have a chest x-ray, which I do every year. And this year, something popped up that we hadn't seen before. So the doctor suggested I go get a PET scan to find out what it was. And once we went through the PET scan, it appeared bigger and larger in life than what they could see.
They said it lit up. It didn't light up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
And it could possibly be an ulcer, some kind of rupture in your stomach. And we're like, okay, that's probably what it is.
So then a few days later, I had to go get an endoscopic ultrasound. And that's when they stuck a camera down my throat to take a look around, and they found the unwanted cancer.
Okay.
This was on Good Friday.
It wasn't that good.
No.
No.
Surely
No,
was
we
not.
did find out on Good Friday, and by 1 o'clock on Good Friday, they had us into a cancer treatment center meeting a team of physicians.
They were incredible. Fast,
And how it was going to work.
responsive.
So you met that same day.
Yes, we had
Yeah,
the,
I don't remember that.
No,
Okay.
same day. And
He had the scope early in the morning.
and of course, we're in complete shock.
Oh, you can't
that,
hear.
What? It's actually cancer? This is
Yes.
impossible. I thought it would be an ulcer or something.
Right.
So now we are just devastated, staring at each other just with dropped jaws, wondering what the heck is going to happen. And they called us about a half an hour after we got home from the devastating news, and we went to the cancer treatment center.
While we were home with that shocking news, Bob's first response, which I will never forget, he wasn't angry. He wasn't afraid. He just said, "I'm so disappointed."
Well, it is disappointing.
It was so
It's
disappointing.
going to ruin my summer.
Well, we quit smoking so many years ago, and
And
you
it's
know,
not a smoking-related cancer.
no, it's not. But you kind of think, well, you quit smoking, which you loved.
It's the
You
greatest
still
thing
love.
ever.
You honored the tradition
I
of
did.
smoking.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
were
in
a
fact,
poster child for a
I
while.
only watch movies and TV shows that feature smoking.
But we just thought because we quit, we're immune now. That won't get us. And
Yeah, and it's
boy,
always it's something else.
it is
So,
completely unrelated.
When you
so-
receive that news, it's surreal.
yeah,
Oh
it's,
my
re-
gosh.
it's
Everything just seems not real.
we were numb.
You're numb.
Yeah, completely numb. It's like, now what do we do? Now what do we do? And
Yep.
we had no idea what the process is.
And we thought, okay, well, we've got to get our affairs in order, or, you know, we've got to tell everyone this is the grim news. And it turns out it wasn't that way. But at first, those first few minutes,
Yeah, I mean, geez,
that's what goes through your head.
there's something inside me eating away.
Yeah.
And so we made all the arrangements, and they put us into a learning program as to what we're going to actually go through. We had a couple of very nice nurses explain each of the things we're going to do. I have to do chemotherapy once a week for 5 weeks,
Okay.
and radiation every day, Monday through Friday, for 5 weeks.
Well,
And I had no idea what any of this stuff
that.
is.
Nor did I.
When I hear chemo, I picture laser beams and burning hair.
I picture the guys in the hazmat suits
Yeah.
and
And-
you know, goggles and
Yeah.
it's
science fiction.
We think 50s sci-fi, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And of course, I have no idea what it is. And they explained it to me, and it's like, oh, well, this is a lot different. And then I went into the radiation room. It's like, wow, this is kind of cool. And they're not shooting a laser beam
Nope.
and burning my skin. And
Well, you're getting ahead now, because before you went in,
yeah,
you went in and got whatever, marked,
Mapped.
tattooed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of stuff. He's getting way ahead here.
there's a lot of stuff going
I
on in my
know.
head right now.
I wanted to talk about our actual meeting at the MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is amazing. But our lead physician, can we say his name?
Let's not use any names.
Okay.
No.
So he used an illustration of going after terrorists, and as he described what the treatment would be for us as we went in, as for Bob, and he likened it to fighting terrorists. And then when it's all said and done, we're going to go after the sleeper cells, which I thought was a really
interesting.
empowering way to talk about it. He was so encouraging that this is curable, and this is just a rough road that Bob's going to go down, but it's curable. And
Well, now you're getting ahead. You ruined our cliffhanger.
next week podcast, Whit
Will
and Becky.
he or won't he?
And
Yes.
I also wanted to mention the radiologist and the words that he said that you won't ever forget.
He said, this is a 5-week treatment. He said, before I even began the treatment, by week 3, you're going to hate me.
Yep.
And I don't know what to expect, but
We'll find out.
I hope I don't hate him that much, because he needs to fix me.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good cliffhanger for the sponsors, because you're going into week 3.
That's right. But this is not sponsored.
No, we're kidding.
No.
So that weekend, I wanted to just talk about that weekend.
The
as
weekend after we found out, it
we
was
found out
Easter
on a Friday.
weekend.
Yes.
So, and luckily, the Masters was on. So I got to, I guess, pay attention to golf
Occupy our minds.
and think about other things than.
And it was actually fun, and Whit came over for a while, and there were some laughs, and
Yeah.
Well, and Becky called me Good Friday night, and it was the end of the world.
Well, it sure seemed like it to us.
I mean, because she cried, I cried for you, I cried for her, having to be the support system, and then I
cried for Argentina.
I always do. You used to smoke. While you were smoking, I was crying for Argentina, Bob.
Nobody out there is going to even get that.
but
That
no,
song
there's
is
gotta
so
be a
old.
one Avita
Don't cry
fan out
for
there.
me.
All right.
But it brought my past back
Sure.
full
Sure.
force.
Yeah.
And I think it was later that night that you called back. Is that right? And I
Right.
talked to Bob. Maybe the next day.
I think it was the next day.
And you were fairly resolute, upbeat. We're going to tackle this. Come over and watch the end of the Masters Sunday. We did with.
We immediately, one of the things our doctor said was, the lead doctor said, don't cancel your plans.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cancel your life. Live your life throughout this treatment
He also
period.
said, do not look this up online.
Oh, yeah, he
Nope.
was clear.
Do not go into these medical MD things and
WebMD.
try
and
to figure out what's going on with you, because it's not
it
what
will not
you,
help.
No, it's not going to help at all. So I haven't looked at a thing.
Nope, neither of us have.
Well,
We've
I
been
just
great.
trust my doctor.
And if and when anyone's listening to this down the road,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I would say is if it happens to you or in your family, keep it private
Yeah.
Yep.
because you don't know answers yet.
No, we
Right.
don't.
You're
And that's-
learning it as you go.
That's the reason we're doing this podcast, is to explain what happens to us every week
as you go along.
as we go along. We have kept this very private until now, and we're going to hopefully walk you through what actually happens in case something like this happens to you or a loved one.
I think this is the antithesis of going online. This
Mm-hmm.
is something that you're actually going through it. It's not all bad.
Right.
No.
You have great, the treatments anymore are incredible.
Yes, they are.
But the reason I mentioned keep it private is it makes people awkward. They don't know what to say to you.
True.
They
Cancer
want it.
is, when people bring up cancer, a lot of people just shut their lips and
Yeah.
don't want to talk about
Right.
it.
Well, they're afraid to say the wrong thing.
True.
They want to hover over you. They want to, in their minds, be a caregiver. You don't need a caregiver.
No.
You need to get through this.
Right.
We
and that's what
kept
we're going
it
to do.
completely private from we told our very immediate family the next day, I think.
Yeah.
But we needed to kind of get our own heads around
Yep.
it first before we started talking about it. Plus, we really didn't know. We didn't even have the pathology back. I held out this tiny
Yeah, they said
glimmer of hope.
it's possible that it's not cancerous at all.
And this was Easter weekend, so I'm like, ooh, maybe this will be a Christmas or a Easter,
Easter
miracle,
miracle,
and
right.
it won't be
Right.
cancer. So we kind of held all that news back because Bob didn't. Bob was very realistic.
No, you have to be.
Yeah, I wasn't as realistic. I was kind of still hoping that would not be the case, but it was the case. So we canceled our big Easter dinner. We were having the whole family over just because the making of the lamb kebabs and all the stuff that Bob
There's
does.
a lot of effort into it, and it just I was just
Mentally.
kind of mentally drained after finding out the news on Friday. I just wanted to kick back and
Yep.
Watch the Masters.
watch the Masters,
And that's what we did.
and that is what we did, and it was probably the best thing that I could have done.
When people assume you now have no sense of humor,
Exactly. Oh
and,
yeah.
and which is just the opposite.
Oh, I know.
Right. You got to laugh
We've had a few things that we'll share with you
as time goes on.
as time
Yeah.
goes on.
Yeah.
But the main purpose is to educate myself, because I'm learning,
Yeah.
and might as well pass it on to others who this could possibly happen to.
Yeah, and not
I
just
know-
that. You got to remember, Bob forgets. There are millions of people who love Bob that would just want to know. They may not have any cancer in their family or their own life, but they still care so much for you, even though you're retired from the show. There are people who would just want to know what by the time they hear this, what you have been through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
agree.
that's important, because if you just hide it away, someday somebody's going to go, did you know Bob Kevoian had cancer? The people will be like, I never heard that.
Right.
And that is actually one of the worries of telling.
That was actually one of the things that people thought had happened to me when I retired.
I remember that. I,
don't-
forgot.
I didn't.
Yeah, so
I
a
don't think
lot
I
of people
did.
go, "Oh, did Bob retire because he has cancer?" It's like
it was all over like
It was
Facebook,
quite a
Bob
few.
and Tom
No,
pages.
it was the massive continual fines.
All the curse words.
Tired of paying those.
Yeah,
so-
that's true. They did. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't remember
People like
that.
to speculate.
Yeah,
I guess.
everyone does. Well, there's no speculation here. This is
Yeah.
what is happening, and we want to share it with you and hopefully educate you.
Yeah.
And
And make you laugh a little bit along
Well,
the way.
and when you talked about radiation, that's quick, right? That's just those
yes,
treatments.
radiation, they said, from the moment you walk in till the moment you walk out, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Right.
But when Deb,
But it's every day, so
but
you
when
have
my-
to go to the hospital every day.
Chemo's a different animal.
Yes, that's once a week, but that is a 3.5 to 4 hour.
You sit
Like a
there
session,
and
yeah.
and I remember trying to make Deb laugh, making the nurses laugh,
Right.
trying to be cheerful,
Right.
Because it's 3 hours. It's boring.
Well, unless you're hanging out with me.
But you know what I'm saying. I mean, there's nothing to do. You can't get up and walk around.
No. Well, you
Yeah.
can. I can
You
I can
wheel
walk
that-
around if I
You
want.
can be one of those guys.
Yeah. Hey, look at that guy. He's got his own plumbing. Yeah. Well, I think what we'll do is, I guess, begin at week 1
Yep.
and share what happened to us on our very first week. And we will continue to do this each and every week as it happens.
I hope people will tune in. I really
They
do.
might. So this week we're doing week 1, and it's been an interesting week. It started on Monday with chemotherapy and my first radiation. Radiation is first because it's so quick.
Oh, you didn't tell about how you got mapped out, which we were, this was new to me too. I didn't know.
Yeah, I signed a waiver when they took me in to get the spot where they have to do the radiation. They take you through, do like a little scan, look at your body, then they mark it. In the old days, I don't know how old, but they used to tattoo a mark.
Deb had a tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh, did she really?
They
Yes.
would do a tattoo
Uh-huh.
on the mark.
Yep.
And now they have a permanent marker that they use, and they have a little plastic cap that goes over it so it won't wash away.
Oh, okay.
And then once they get you dialed up, they take those things off and you
But
lay on a table.
you're on some kind of a thing, like where you lay your head, right?
Yeah, they did a mold for my head and my arms, so I'm in the same position
Every time.
each and every time
Yep.
I go into radiation.
Yeah, I just think that's interesting. We didn't know what
Yeah.
this was going to be.
Nor did I, and I thought radiation. I stand up and I get hit from all sides with all kinds of
Yep.
weird waves and
Well,
laser
before
beams and
before treatment started, it was actually we had a week to deal with the knowledge and the fact that he was going to start treatment on that following Monday, and we had a whole week to get ready, mentally prepared and stuff. And I had said early on, one evening, do you want to get in the hot tub? It'd be very relaxing. It might take your mind off of things. And Bob's like, I do not want these marks to wash off.
That's a good point.
Oh,
I
I'm sure.
didn't even think of it. And then it made me a little bit paranoid to touch those areas that he has a little X marks the spot, Like, it didn't occur to me. We could have easily, if he wasn't smart, gotten
I actually took a marker and added a couple
I was
of
going
areas.
to say, well, I thought you were going to say the opposite. If you'll notice, this area has not been marked.
But no,
You digress.
But
I
we did enjoy that week, as much as you can enjoy it, that week leading up, because Bob said to me, this week, pre-treatment, I want to be.
I'm acting as if I'm cancer-free, and I'm going to do whatever I want.
That's
and he
great.
did, man.
And I played 4 rounds of golf and just got out there and did stuff.
Oh, the other point you haven't made either is that you had no symptoms, so you felt great.
Yeah, that's the other wild thing is I wasn't sick.
You still aren't sick.
No, I still haven't felt anything.
Yep.
It's baffling when they say, well, we're going to heal you, although I didn't feel
Like you
I
needed to
needed
be.
to be healed.
Right. So we just
So
lived the
that's
whole.
the biggest shock of the whole thing.
So was it during that first week that you called me with some better news, or was it prior to? Just that they said it is treatable,
curable and all that.
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
We got that after,
We
say,
got
Monday,
that,
maybe.
Yeah, we got that after we went and had
Got
our
the
So
consults.
you had
pathology.
started treatment when they told you that.
Yes. So I am curable,
Which is just, boy, that was the best news I
Yeah,
heard.
Yeah.
that was great news.
and we begin the treatments in radiation and a 4-hour chemo session. And it was surprisingly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I spent that week while Bob was off golfing and goofing around and having his normal life, but overbuying every item I could find that had protein.
Well, this is what the doctor said. You know, the chemo and the radiation will take some of your weight away.
Okay.
Well, actually, the radiologist said, by the end, you'll be donating weight. So that scared me enough to say, we're bulking you up, big boy.
So they said protein and calories is what I need,
And fluids.
and tons of fluids.
Keep hydrated, right?
Say the
Absolutely,
hydration actually
every minute
helps,
of the day.
helps,
and
heal.
not many people know this.
Well, they told me that caffeine drinks don't count.
No.
They actually take
Well,
take
I was
hydration
going to
away.
say, not many people know that Bob doesn't like water.
Exactly.
I don't care for water.
I'd
at
never
all.
heard that in my life.
Nope.
It's
he-
a boring liquid.
That's what
that-
he's always said. I don't like water. I don't like water.
No.
So
Give me
ever
something
since I've known
carbonated
him,
Yes.
with
Yeah.
color, and,
Or a beer or
give
whiskey.
me a whiskey with a
Yep.
little
Sure.
ice. That's what I prefer.
so on a day-to-day basis throughout, ever since I've known Bob, it's coffee in the morning, open a Diet Pepsi,
Yep.
Or a Gatorade.
Gatorade.
He did drink Gatorade regularly, so that's good.
That helped.
But and then he'd have another Diet Pepsi, whatever. But he
judge
would
me.
never he would never drink water. Well, that week leading up, as I was trying my best to make this guy a heavy honey, and I succeeded, let me say.
Yes.
He drank every ridiculous drink I could find that had protein in it, and we narrowed them down to what were his kind of tolerable ones and favorite ones, and then he tried some water. And now
Surprisingly,
he's drinking water like
I'm
a
stunned.
champ.
I'm stunned.
it's the
It's-
easiest liquid to
It
continue
really is.
drinking.
It is.
It's
doesn't-
you guys don't even know how shocking it is. It's
Oh,
just so amazing.
I'm going through more water. In fact, I pee in every hour.
That's
This is ridiculous.
It's great.
No, it isn't.
So, but anyhow, so I spent that week buying every cheese, meat, eggs, milk, whole milk, heavy cream, everything
Heavy
I
on
could think
desserts.
of.
snack items.
Oh, we have
yeah.
an enormous basket of snack items now because Bob has to eat. And they told us to start this before the treatment even began.
It's like going to a candy counter at a movie theater. This is fantastic.
Except they all have protein. But they said to begin this process of eating small meals throughout the day. No more breakfast, lunch, and supper. That's just not going to happen. So we started, and it's really worked. It didn't really change our lifestyle because we were never a big go out to dinner people.
We're
so
big on lunch.
we were big on lunch, but now we're little on lunch.
It's like you're preparing to be cast in a role as Fatty Arbuckle.
For the most part,
Take
right
a look
now,
at
yes.
Consider it that way.
Look at
I'm taking
him.
on
Yeah.
weight. Oh, yeah.
He's doing so great.
No, I'm just saying.
So-
You read about those actors that have
that
Yeah,
have to
the
get
3
heavy.
months
Yeah.
to gain 40 pounds,
Yeah.
and I always envied them.
Well, I bought protein
There's
powder.
a few of them that went that way
And
and
couldn't-
forgot to take it off.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
I'm not saying any words, Russell Crowe.
No. Kathleen Turner. Excuse me.
Whoa, hold
I
on
had
a second.
something in my throat
I
there.
know, that's what it,
Well, I went online and shopped for protein powder, and when you buy online and you don't have it in front of you to touch and see, it was impossible to judge the size. And I bought protein powder in what I thought 5 pounds. It's probably the size of a 5-pound bag of flour, right? It's powder. It's so enormous. I got vanilla and chocolate, and I have no place to put them. They're I don't know, it's as big as a snare drum.
we could
or-
draw bingo balls out of
See,
it.
I was just going to say.
So I
It's like
did
this
overreact.
Huge tumbler.
But I just wanted to do my very best to get him fed every 2 or 3 hours to have something
Is
interesting
the
and
protein
delicious.
powder tasty? I mean, does it?
There's a vanilla and a chocolate.
So it's like a shake?
but
Yeah, you add it to
Okay.
ice
but
cream.
you mask it with other stuff like ice cream.
Okay.
We have a
all right.
lot of ice cream in our fridge. You can't, or freezer. You
Yeah.
can't
Okay,
believe how
all
much
right.
ice cream.
That's
and
not
that's
bad.
good.
It's good.
And it's an unusual cancer in that regard because it's going to affect his esophagus and stomach. He isn't going to want to eat at some point down the road, which I'm assuming by the time
I
we
said
get
as
to
the radiation goes on, I'm going to start swelling at the esophagus stomach junction there.
where they're going to burn it with,
So
know,
you're getting
rays.
way ahead of the game.
Okay,
That's what you're
yes.
doing.
We're feeding him now.
No. I mean feeding
No,
him. Yeah,
we are.
yeah.
Get bulked up,
Yep.
and then if the radiation starts taking it from me,
He's going to have
they have-
milkshakes and
there's
cheesecake.
extra to take.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
well,
our
So
plan.
that was our lead up to week 1.
And the week 1 we
Have
had
some fun and fatten up.
Yes, and we talked to a couple of nurses about what to expect. They said it's possible I could lose my hair.
Okay.
It's possible I will not want to eat. There's many of these things. One thing that was interesting, I thought, was that after chemo, they said every time I use the restroom
Yes.
to close the lid and flush twice. You know?
There's so many jokes you could say.
I know.
But didn't
So-
they say that to you during your physical every year, Bob? I think that was more of a personal hygiene
You
suggestion.
know what it is. I'm a sprayer.
I just thought it was so weird. Plus, we have a house full of urinals.
Yes,
Bob
you
built
do.
this house.
Yeah.
We built it for him to have these
There's no
fun
lids
urinals.
on those, as you know.
So he
Oh.
can't be using them right now.
Can't use the urinals right now.
And
It's very
evidently, that's
inconvenient.
to
The
protect
reason.
me. That's what
There's
I'm told.
apparently radiation and
Stays in your
poisonous
system?
stuff in my spray. I guess I don't know.
Holy cow, Bob!
I know it's kind
You're
of weird.
like a
but-
superhero
Yeah, I
now.
know.
And what's the other thing you have to be?
Oh boy, here we go. I heard this.
Well, we asked if it's possible
I actually asked, which was a little
to
embarrassing.
have, during this process to actually have intimate relations with each other.
Oh, hell yes, you're supercharged now.
Of course I am. I mean, they're loading me up with all these fluids. Look out.
Oh my God!
But they said that I have to wear protection.
Okay.
I said, well, like, is it going to glow in the dark if I...
He did actually say that.
It could,
He
I
said
don't know.
he actually used those words. Am I
Glow
going to
in-
glow in the dark?
which is valid because that would be so cool.
I know. Oh, I know.
That would be the best side effect.
Oh yes.
I'd
Glow
have
in
to
the
take a
dark.
picture if he did.
Right.
I don't even need a blue light.
Yeah, turn all the lights out. There he goes. There he is. He's
Look
headed,
at that.
He's headed your way.
Oh, my God.
Look out!
So
I was somewhat surprised by that news. There's other things that I...
So what did you do with that news?
oh,
Well,
that's-
I decided to go buy some condoms. Mm-hmm. And, the last time I bought condoms, I had to buy maybe
comb,
3 pounds of snacks,
A comb.
a comb,
maybe a battery,
maybe,
some batteries.
asprin.
Yeah.
Is that really a boy
Oh,
thing?
yes.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
like
You
you
disguise
see that
it.
in movies?
No,
You
you-
load this big pile of items on the counter, and all around it, you
tuck your rubbers in.
Slide the rubbers in the middle of the pile, and as they're going through the checkout, they go fast. They check, and there's always a price check on these Trojans.
Oh, right up front.
So it's not just in the movies because I've heard that in the movies.
Oh no, you always.
No, it's in fact, there's probably now you can buy them on the counter. You had to ask the pharmacist way back
Back
when.
in the day,
Oh,
they had
that's
to-
embarrassing.
Oh boy, that
Well,
was.
plus Bob, you were probably 13
Well, but I looked 18 at the time.
with the mustache.
Yeah.
So
I actually had to buy condoms, and I said, you know what? Hell, I'm 72 years old. I don't need to pretend I.
You should be proud.
It's like, look at this. I'm going to go buy some condoms and throw them on the counter.
Hell yes.
They probably think you're with a woman who's of
Well, that's
childbearing years.
That's what I said. Is the gal said, "Oh, Mr. Kevoian, 70 years old, buying condoms. Third wife, 25
No.
years old. Nope.
All I said is, can you hurry it
Cancer.
up? She's in the.
Yeah.
I said, can you hurry it up? She's in the parking.
Yeah.
Great.
And by the way, I'm just gonna wear these home.
Yeah, there you go. So it was a couple of things I haven't done since I was a teenager, but it's kind of
It
crazy.
gave you some laughs.
Yeah, it gave me a good laugh.
Because now you can scan yourself. You wouldn't even have to. You can scan yourself. You wouldn't even have to see the girl at the counter, right? You could just.
Well, he goes to the
no,
Walgreens.
where you go to the Walgreens, there's no self-checkout.
Plus,
Okay.
you know what? At Walgreens and our CVS, actually, they know us. I mean, it's right around the corner, and that's a little unnerving.
I just think
no.
they should, for the guy that's too chicken to buy them, that's going to scan them himself.
He'll go to
right?
Meyer or something.
Well, there should be a noise on the self-check thing.
Oh, if there's rubbers.
Rubbers.
Kind of like winning a jackpot or
Yes.
something.
I
Little red
figured
light
you
spins.
would use that sound that you guys used to use on the show. Boop, boop.
Yeah, the old slide whistle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no sound effects with radiation or chemo.
No, it's a little disappointing, I bet you.
You would think it
No,
would be
there's-
the lab, you know.
There's nothing. No,
Yeah.
it's silence.
Yes.
There's a big machine that roves around me, and I'll tell you about that
Okay.
in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break and get a drink.
Okay.
He's
And
got to
we'll-
keep hydrated.
I got to be hydrated.
No,
This-
he's
I
got to
can't-
go put the lid down.
We'll be right back.
I'm sick of being sick.
All right, this is the Bob and Cancer Show. Hey, 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 we hate my partner. We're going to try to kill him. We're going to talk about week 1, our very, very first week at the Cancer Center.
Now, Bob just took a break and had a payday. Excellent source of protein for you that are wondering.
One of the
and
top
Whit,
2 candies of all time.
you might wonder why our break was a little long. Whit,
It's hard to, you can't eat a payday quickly.
No.
Right.
Nor would you want to.
No, it gets stuck in your, but there's no better summer treat than a beer and a payday.
Oh, we learned that early
Oh,
on.
yeah, way back when. So we went to the Cancer Center on a Monday to get things started. First was radiation, 15 minutes on a table and a machine moving around me. I don't know how it knows what it's supposed to be doing, but it did it.
is it silent?
It's a.
Does it go,
You hear the machine moving around.
but no, boop, 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 boop.
No kind of
Space
noise.
age.
No, there's none of that.
Darn it.
No. And it was 15 minutes as they promised. And bam, we head upstairs to the treatment center where I am to take my very first chemo treatment. And pretty nervous, not
Yes.
knowing what to expect. They take us into a treatment room that has a recliner, a nice window with a view of a dumpster.
It's hilarious.
Weird.
It was a freezing cold day. It was sideways wind.
Oh yeah, it was very cold.
It was nasty out, so then you don't mind being inside, at least.
Yeah.
But the dumpster view was questionable.
Yep.
It is what it is.
But as I recall, they have snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
you get.
there.
They encourage you to eat while you're there for 3.5 hours.
Yep.
So they encourage you to bring food, or they'll get snacks for you. Or whatever
I brought
the
a
case.
whole picnic basket.
We did have a picnic.
I had
basket.
all his fluids, and I didn't realize they could get, snacks there. So I packed up everything possible to eat
Did
and
you have a
drink.
2-wheel truck for the powder?
Yeah,
the
For my protein powder. Thanks.
had to hire Sherpas to bring it in. And then when you get there, they make you very comfortable. They draw my blood.
Oh,
And
can I say before you
they-
say that we're in our own room, and we kind of imagined. No,
Yeah, you just can't hit the table.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We're in our very own room, and I was imagining that it was more like this place I had gone once for an infusion. Like people are just lined up, everybody's hooked up to tubes and IVs, and you're looking at other people, but you're not. No
No.
one's staring at us. We had our very own nice room. So.
Yes, and that was part of the deal at the Cancer Center. And they bring you in, and they said the routine is they draw my blood and test it. So they send it to a lab. They read my blood, which determines the amount of
Oh, wow. I don't remember that.
chemo
Okay.
And they're-
treatment I am to receive that
Okay.
day.
The lab is there. It's just across the hall.
The lab
which is
and the
so
pharmacy.
Nice.
So-
Everything is right there.
They take that and they mix my Taxol or whatever it is. They mix it appropriate to my blood
I'll
type.
be darned.
And it's all done within an hour. Then they give me a pre-treatment infusion, which is Benadryl, steroids, and an anti-nausea,
Anti-nausea. Yes, I remember that.
because the chemo apparently does cause that.
And that takes about half an hour or
It's about
so
a
to
half an
go
hour
in.
infusion, and it's by the end of it, I'm kind of hyped up on steroids.
The steroid.
After you get
Well-
drowsy first from the Benadryl,
He took a
then
little
you-
nap.
then you come right back up,
he laid back in that recliner, and I turned off the lights in the room, and it was nice.
It's like you lived Go Ask Alice in about 30 minutes.
For the most,
yes.
Oh, that's funny.
But after that, then about an hour later, they bring in the first dose of chemo.
The poison, yeah.
And I'm on that for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then they check my vitals and stuff after that hour, make sure everything's okay. And if I'm okay, then they bring in the next dose, which is I forget the name of it.
I can look it up.
I'm not very good with medical names.
No.
I can't remember them there.
Do you want me to pull the sheet out?
They should name medicines like Fred.
Yes.
And
You're getting the Fred drug.
I'm having Fred today. It's just hard to remember the names. So the second one is about a 45-minute dose.
He's eating the whole time.
Yeah,
Good.
And I can have snacks and stuff while
He
this
had a
is all going on.
sandwich,
Yep.
and yeah.
And once that's done, well, we've been there now 3.5 hours, and it's just pick up your stuff and go home.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
they just go, okay, we'll
They're
see you
done.
next week.
And then for the week, the medicine in my bloodstream is fighting cancer all week
Working.
long.
Yep.
So
Oh, tell about when the nurse
Interesting.
gave you the steroids. What
she said now they inject the steroids into this saline solution that's hooked up to my arm. And the one that's a steroid has to be injected very slowly. She said if it's injected quickly, it can cause a burning sensation, what they call ants in your pants, in the crotch area.
She wasn't kidding.
She wasn't kidding. And I said, ants in your pants? Like they're biting you? And then she says it's kind of like fire ants.
Wow.
And she
That-
said some nurses are not accustomed to this, and they'll just put the injection in. Push,
And when it
done.
goes in fast, it can
Burns it
burn your crotch area.
I
inside.
must have
In
had
an
steroids when I was in
uncomfortable-
Tijuana that one weekend.
So she very slowly, I never had that occur. So
Okay, good. Good.
And they
so far-
also put a little fear in us before we even started about an allergic reaction.
Right.
That is like 1 in 10 people get a allergic reaction to the medicine that's going to go into you. So they have to monitor him very closely the first time and the second time. After that, they know you're not allergic. But the first week, they come in every, 15 minutes just to make sure he's not having a
doing okay.
reaction.
Okay.
And
All
they
right.
said, when they told us about it, that they keep I guess it's like an EpiPen. If they see that reaction, they're going to poke it right into his thigh through his pants.
Bring me back around.
And she
But
said
I,
it's very scary if
yeah.
it happens.
But I did not have that
But
reaction.
he
Good.
did not have it. But I just was going to throw that out
Yeah.
there for people who may not know that is
I didn't know that
something.
was a
It's a
possibility.
possibility.
Okay.
1 in 10
All right.
seems kind of high.
That is high.
Yeah.
It is.
But he got the meds and we left.
We left, and then the week I had radiation Monday through Friday every morning at the same time. And by the end of the week on Friday, I had 0 symptoms.
That's great.
Oh, but
I
what
had-
did the steroids do to you that week, Bob?
Well, the steroids, when I've had steroids before when I've had like a pneumonia or
Yes,
something,
right.
and they'll give you that to help clear out your airways and stuff. And it makes me want to paint the house.
You
Makes
get,
me
you get
wanna-
hyper.
He
Yeah.
it makes
was
me wanna
so busy.
Go out and build a barn.
Yes.
It's you're just hyped up and ready to go.
He was
You
cleaning
go,
the
go,
putting
go,
green
go,
and
go.
doing all
I
kinds
did.
of stuff.
I did the first week. I did all kinds of chores.
He was
around
cleaning
the house.
gutters up on a ladder. I'm like, dude.
hey, look
what-
at that guy. He doesn't look like he has cancer.
No.
Look at him.
Exactly. You
Look
felt
how good.
You felt great.
Yeah, and it was great. And they said the steroids will last until about Thursday, from Monday through Thursday, and then they'll kind of disappear, and you'll probably feel a little less energetic.
Just thinking
But he
you're-
didn't.
You know, the wife of your next door neighbor is saying, "Look at Bob. Why don't you get cancer, you lazy bastard?"
Look how busy he is
look
around
at
the
him going,
place.
look at
yeah.
him going.
Go, go, go.
Well, that's great. You didn't feel bad at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
It was a very good feeling. I didn't feel as if I was sick or anything whatsoever. The first week was actually as smooth as could be with no side effects whatsoever.
And you're sitting in the chemo chair for, it's a long time. That's your first time now this is real.
Yes.
Yep, it was real.
You
I
know,
took a picture of him, which
that's a big day.
Yeah, it was big.
Because
It is,
now you're
but-
confronting it. But what we found is having a game plan made us resolute. We are
Yes.
now doing
Yep.
what we need to do to get rid of this.
Yep, that's
and,
how it felt.
and that was comforting to us that we were being guided through this.
Yes.
But after that first day, I realized it wasn't going to be as horrific as I thought.
Right. It was, yeah.
There are
We
things
just
that
didn't know.
will happen down the road which we have yet to travel, and
Yeah.
we'll pass that along as it happens. But I don't know what's going to happen to me in the next few weeks.
Right. That
But-
first week, we didn't know if it was going to burn going in, if
Right.
he was going to feel that. It's a pretty powerful drug, both the combination going into him. And he got out of it like a champ.
Well,
So-
again, it's a means to an end. And,
It
and,
is.
and Becky, you and I aren't the ones that have to go through it,
I know.
but we're right there,
Yeah.
and it's a team effort.
Yeah.
It truly is.
But it really was a relief after that first treatment that it wasn't going to be horrific.
Right.
I just don't know what side effects will happen, and we'll share
No.
those as they happen. The one thing I will share is when you announce to friends and family that you have cancer,
Yep.
it's amazing how many of them know people who can get you
It's-
pot.
Not what you thought?
You were going to take me in the tear bucket. Now we're high as a kite.
Now we're high as a
okay,
kite.
wow.
It's incredible
It's true.
how many
Oh.
people come out of the woodworks. You know, a lot of people will do this to generate appetite. A lot will do it to ease pain
Or help him sleep.
or help you sleep. I was like, well,
And, you know, Bob's a little familiar from the 70s.
I used to dabble
Did you dabble?
for 10 years.
Right.
10?
Well, it was a good start. The 70s were kind of a blur, and it was an enjoyable time of
Yes.
my life.
Yep.
So he's familiar with how it would feel to use it, you know, but not against this foe, you know.
Right.
And
So I figured, well, I might as well dive in.
might as well.
Might as well see what happens. So who knows? We'll
Has that taken the edge off
We'll
a little
share.
bit?
we'll share with you what happens.
Okay.
As
it
we
happens.
progress to the other weeks. But let me take you to the tear path.
The tear path. Is there a tear path in this
Well,
week?
the reason I never got into pot,
Yeah.
I figured I would be the Sid Barrett of marijuana. I would lose my mind, never be the same again. and so
it's
I just
not.
thought,
That
you know
won't
what?
happen. It's just
Sorry.
it's a warm feeling. It's like you're being hugged by a nun who
Wait,
really likes you.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, is
A,
this
a Cinemax
Yes,
nun. No, we're not a religious
hugged by
nun.
a nun?
A nun who likes you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
no,
so
they're-
sorry.
It's I don't know. It's fun. It was fun when I was a young
Well, we'll
man.
find out how it works.
I'll find
right.
out if it's fun again.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Of course,
So-
it's not legal in my area,
Correct.
but
Well, I
they
thought-
don't know where we live.
I made a mistake
Yes,
then.
they
I thought
do.
the gummies by the paydays were actual gummies. Now I can't.
Careful.
Becky, you have 3 heads right now.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I just want to say on the subject of the support we have of our family and friends, and that this is crucial if you're out there and you do receive a diagnosis or someone in your family does. But our family loves us and they're very nearby and we're all close. This news came on the heels of losing our beloved sister Lynn, my sister, Bob's sister-in-law. And if you
just 2 weeks prior to our diagnosis.
Well, when we got the diagnosis, we were at Lynn's house having a memorial, and Bob was taking calls from the doctors. So we were still at that time getting cards, flowers. We got plants delivered after the diagnosis. I'm like, somebody sent us a plant? And they didn't know about Bob, but I thought it
was Lynn.
was. It was for Lynn
Yep.
and the loss of Lynn. And so it hit us at a time when we were already so sorrowful. But in a strange way, it helped me as the sister who lost a sister to turn a corner and have a major focus that I'll grieve Lynn down the road, most likely, because right now I don't have time. I had just made a joke to my brother Yale and sister Susan that Becky is about to take to her bed. The old pioneer phrase for an old lady taking to her bed. And this was after we lost Lynn, before the diagnosis for Bob. So we were already pretty crushed, and it was like, boom, I'm not taking to my bed. I got a job to do.
You're on point now.
Now
Yep.
we have a job.
Yeah, we do.
And I had told Bob my full-time job is feeding him and keeping him hydrated and fat and happy. But my other job is to try not to cry all the
Right.
time.
Yep.
And I said to the nurses this week, I haven't been crying. I've been, and
Of
he's
course,
like,
I said to the nurses, she's a liar.
She cried.
I-
It is.
She's
It's,
I'm a weepy person anyhow.
Yeah.
So
but your emotions are now just under the surface.
just right there.
And anything
every
can
second.
trigger it.
So I wanted to share a few responses from our good friends
Okay.
after we've only told a very few people right now. Our family, of course, our siblings and our children, but also a few close friends. One of my friends, who actually lost her husband to cancer, said, when I told her, she said, when you want to hide, call me. I'll sit in the closet with you.
That's
Isn't that beautiful?
yeah,
sweet.
and it's genuine.
Yep.
And another friend, when I told her, I said, I don't want to add to your already full plate. And she said, it's a big plate.
That's nice.
I know.
Yeah.
People just love us, Bob.
People, well, they
And
love you.
My other friend said, the joy of your house is going to be one of the most potent medicines to counter this moment of despair. And we do have a joyful
Oh,
house.
totally. It's a
Yeah.
house of laughter and
It
fun
is,
and
and
family.
love
Yes,
and
yes.
commitment, and
Yep.
we are going to make it because we have already got this foundation of love and joy and laughter and happiness too. So, and then my friend Whit said, "I
What'd he
love
say?
you both more than my clumsy words can ever say."
He's
and-
lying. He's a liar, too.
But it's so true because clumsy words are
You don't know what to say.
You don't.
That is the one thing about cancer. People do not know what to say.
And there's no right answer.
No.
You don't want to be too pat on the back. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you, because
You
that's
don't want to be a victim
no,
or
no.
or a constant be a patient to people. You know, like, oh, poor Bob, poor
No,
Becky.
and you don't want that.
No, I really don't. I don't care
doesn't
for
help
that at
you.
all.
And we haven't had that. We really
And
haven't.
you also
so.
kind of don't want the well-meaning cheerleader.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, she's
well,
topless.
Yes.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
Which has become my motivation for my treatments.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
I've told my wife that I need motivation,
Yes.
and she has volunteered to be the topless cheerleader when I need it.
And then it's time to hide the glow stick.
Hide the glow stick. That's pretty good.
Here it
Whit.
comes. You can see it. Stand back.
Oh yeah. So that's
Yeah, you're right. It's awkward.
It is.
People do love you.
Yeah.
and
they
because
want to
you have
express-
cancer, you do not lose your sense of humor.
No,
No.
you don't
you
at all.
really don't.
Nope.
And you started to say you don't want the kind of platitudes, and we are not sloganeers. Bob and I are not. You know, I'm not going to wear a big T-shirt that
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"My husband has cancer. Feel for me," or you know, we're just
Right.
not those people. So
Beat my husband. He has cancer. No, I mean beat cancer.
Cancer. He's my husband.
you know what? You need those shirts like they have out at the track. Show us your tits.
Right.
Bob needs motivation. Show him your.
Right.
Well, you said tits. Why don't you say it again?
I know. I
Oh,
shouldn't have. I don't know
I
why.
know.
I'm sorry for the
I'm
language.
actually kind of turned on right now.
Yes, I was going to say.
No, I shouldn't have said it. Should we edit
I
that
know,
out?
We're not going to edit that. That's,
feel a
I'm
severe
keeping
cold
that and
coming
putting
on.
it I'm going to put it on a reel and turn it into my car horn.
I just think that would be. But for a slogan, that's a good slogan. That's the only one
That's
he
a
would
great
want,
slogan,
you know.
right.
But I even showed him my tatas or whatever at chemotherapy in the chair.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
I
Yeah,
just popped
it's a
open the
private room.
shirt. and,
It's a private
you know.
room.
It's like
and
motivation. That's what I need.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, the homeless guy at the dumpster got a show.
He did. He hung around for quite a while. Mm-hmm. He really did.
That's an excellent one.
Sorry.
There you go. That's a good callback.
Okay.
Well, week one was surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
That's not what I expected at all.
No.
And week two is as easy. This hopefully won't be so bad.
Yeah. Well, I hope people will continue to tune in.
Well,
Because we don't know what's going to happen.
we'll
So
continue
every
to share,
episode
I
is a
honestly
cliffhanger.
do not know what will happen.
Yeah.
And
Will you be like,
we will do
is
this.
Bob.
Our plan is to do these at the end of each week and let you know what happened. And
Well, Bob said he wants to record them on Sunday because if you do them on Friday or something funny might happen over the weekend.
Right.
That's
We
what he
don't know what's
actually
gonna happen.
said.
No.
Something funny might happen.
well, you don't know.
Right.
I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, you have to go through
Right.
the whole week in
So
order
tomorrow's a new week.
So
to. Tomorrow, a new week begins.
obviously, you have a lot on your mind now. Do you think that had anything to do with what happened when you had to jump in the shower for 20 minutes the other day?
Oh, that's next week.
That's next week.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
There's our cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Yeah.
happened to Bob? Ba, ba, ba.
Ba, 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 ba. Yes, you do
Sorry, I
not
thought
lose.
that was week one.
You do not lose your sense of humor
No.
because you have cancer. You'll find that out next week.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Bob and Cancer Show. I hate my partner.
Boo.
We're gonna kill him.
Yep.
Yes, we
Stay
are.
tuned.
You've been listening to the Bob and Cancer Show. Tune into our next episode as we continue to follow Bob's journey. Bob Kevoian appears courtesy of Trojan. Trojan Rubbers. You're never too old. This is Whit Grayson speaking.